Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. So, I changed stuff up because it's the month of December. I'm in the holiday spirit. As you can tell, I'm not really into Christmas. But I like one thing about it, and that's, I'm a dad, so giving presents to my kids and making them smile and happy and shit like that warms this cold black heart. Um, Quite a bit. I do like that aspect of it. I like what Christmas is intending to be and fails miserably to become. A lot of holidays, just on a quick offshoot here before I get into it, a lot of holidays are kind of, in my mind, they're sort of like the way that regular people like deal with abstract notions and ideas that need like a presence but aren't really actively being worked toward. So they feel a little bit, to me, they feel disingenuous, but like I think a lot of people do put like emotional investment into things like Christmas, and it does make people sometimes behave a little better. But there's also a skyrocketing of depression and things like that because it also accentuates loneliness and things of that nature for some people. But you know, that's why the New Year's and Christmas time is usually when people be taking Santa's sleigh out for the last time. But you know, I'm not going to get into holidays today. That'll be for another day. Hi, Winter. A couple things out of the way first. If you've seen me before, cool. If you haven't, stick around. I ramble. If you get annoyed, that's okay. You can just mute me or leave. I don't know. Um, but yeah, if you like what you end up hearing or you get mad or whatever, go ahead and support me. Patreon, PayPal, blah, blah, blah. Also, I added on my description, I added for the gamers out there, one of them, I added my Steam profile. I never thought of doing that. I was just like, oh yeah. So you can actually like follow someone's Steam profile apparently. So if you want to know what I'm playing, what the fuck I'm fucking around with or messing with, there you go. If you want to know what games I've, been a try hard regarding and shit, it's there. So there's that option. All right. So you saw the somewhat inflammatory title. Well, it's not wrong. It's just, you know, I just thought it would be kind of funny. But it's more. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm somewhat interested in what's been going on with Dr. K, healthygamer.gg. A lot of people that are into like mental health stuff and gaming, and they're like one of the biggest people out there, right? Um, and the problem is bigger than just like, oh, the title implies. Oh, drama. Dr. K's content brain. It's kind of what it represents, right? And why it's particularly like uncomfortable or disturbing to me that that particular creator is producing more regularly producing slop. Um, okay, so just to get into the meat of it, I do not think that professionals, whether medical or the mental health, should be content brained. They should, in fact, not be producing entertainment content that has to do with their profession. That is my utmost belief. If you are a psychologist, if you are a psychiatrist, you should not be making entertainment based content. You should not be live streaming and playing video games and talking about the thing you're a professional regarding. You should not be doing that. That is a really bad idea. You should not make your primary source of income as a professional being an internet person. And if you decide to, then you should, I know people have the ability to essentially set aside their licenses, right? Like they can set aside, you can set aside your license, right? It's kind of like what Dr. Phil, I guess, did years ago. He had a license, and then he set it down because now he's going to be an entertainer. A lot of these content creators that are also professionals in both, and I'm not just talking about it's psychiatry and psychology, but as well as just the medical field. They aren't really all that educated on how their presence impacts people. They're educated in their field, but they're not very well educated in how human beings and how mental health and how parasocial relationships function and how they may impact the very people in a negative way they are sworn to help as medical professionals. Now, I know a lot of people that do listen to me, they're probably into like mental health shit and stuff. The channel's called what it is because I dealt with all my schizoid shit for years, and I still advocate and I still support that stuff. I have my own server for these people. Now I'm talking about other things on top of that because I just, if I talk about the same shit nonstop, I'm gonna get burnt out, and that's not gonna help anybody. But yeah, I don't have a license, right? I'm just some guy, a coach at best. But even then, had I been, you can't make your primary role an entertainer. The best, maybe, licensed clinical professional should be doing on YouTube is like educational videos that are for sort of like audiences to, for educational or academic purposes. I don't like online content creating pop psychology or psychiatry very much, but it has its place. But when you're a professional, you should not be in that place. That is not the place you should be. Because when you make mistakes, when you fuck up, when you say the wrong thing, when you become content brained, that's not just going to hurt you. It's going to hurt everyone that trusts you, everyone that has established this parasocial relationship with you, especially if you started as someone that was legitimately creating content that took into consideration of many factors. Especially if you started that not with the intention of becoming content brained. If your intention was just to grow and teach a little bit and things like that, right? Putting out a video every so often, right? But once you turn into somebody that's churning out content, you get to a point where you start just fucking producing slop. And you start producing really irresponsible slop. And when you start doing that, and you're a professional, people put stock into that. The average person, maybe all the Zoids and stuff like, and I know I don't, but people put some deep stock into having a degree, having a PhD, being a medical professional. So the excuse of, well, it's not, you're not supposed to take it all so seriously, it's just internet content, that doesn't really apply to you as much anymore. You're not just some guy that has an interest in this. You're a fucking professional. You have to answer to a board of other professionals. So, set aside your fucking license if you're going to make your primary source of income creating entertainment content. I don't know why that's such a crazy take. I'm not sure if it even is. I don't even know what people would consider it. But I think it's pretty fucking obvious. Now, why did I call out Dr. K specifically? Why did I use him in my thumbnail? My thumbnail's funny, first of all. I didn't know there was a picture of him flipping off the camera. I thought it was amusing, so I used it. But I got turned on to this guy a while back, and I thought, wow, this is some really interesting content. He's been around for years. He covers all kinds of great stuff in the past. He's covered, get into real nuanced stuff, good interviews, good talks, real nitty-gritty stuff, very, very live a more productive life, touch some grass type shit, right? Some stuff that's pretty yeah, that's good, but also got into the more deeper psychological aspects of a variety of issues and problems. And I'm not saying this guy didn't do a bunch of really helpful stuff, really great shit over the years. He did. Right? But something happened. And if you look at his more recent content, it's very content-brained. And there's always been a tinge of that, but I didn't know how bad it could get. And I looked into it a little bit, and somebody else told me about it, and that person showed me where things especially started going wrong. And apparently it was, I think 2023, 2024. I discovered that Dr. K had their license reprimanded. Not revoked, but reprimanded. Now, I talked to my own psychologist and I asked her, what does that mean? And she's like, that's really bad. And I'm like, okay, why is that bad? It just basically means that you were this close to losing your license, but they decided to give you a chance. So you're essentially on probation as a professional when you have one of these, when you have this this kind of stamp on your license, this reprimand. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. Dr. K had that happen, and I'm like, but what happened? Did he just make a mistake during his actual practice? Does he have a practice? Did maybe something went wrong in his actual practice or something? No, that's not what happened. He got that reprimand because of content brain bullshit. And what live streaming and things like that does to a person, especially someone susceptible to anything like that, which apparently he was. So he's neurodivergent himself, from what I learned. He's ADHD. And he had an interesting, tough life where, he was being forced into, essential, a tiger mom type situation, or tiger parents. They wanted him to be a doctor, and he had a high status career and all this sort of shit, right? M. Borger says he graduated Harvard and was training to be a monk for a year. It's scary because he really should have discipline and integrity. If he succumbs, anyone can, or something. No, I don't think anyone can. It's just most people will. to some degree, especially, oh, my daughter's here. Let me tell her good night. Yeah, my daughter just came in here. She's so good at sneaking up on me now when I'm streaming. And all I heard was dun 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 dun. Like it's like some toy she had. It scared me, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, oh crap. Oh, there's so much. Don't sneak up on me. But she still likes to do it. I'm especially worried if I'm saying, like, you know, I'm yelling or saying something bad, and she's just like right there sneaking up on me, hearing her dad say, fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck. You know, that's not my goal here. But anyway, as I was saying, well, yeah, as I was reading, yeah. So that's what especially kind of like disturbed me and kind of bothered me was that particular, well, I didn't even tell you what happened. That's right. So the reason he got that reprimand was because he was on a live stream with another streamer, and that other streamer person had mental health issues, and they were like suicidal and shit, and he essentially like overpromised this person how much help they would provide them. And I think a lot of that had to do because he got caught up in the I'm on a live stream, I'm the hero, I'm the good guy type shit, and he overpromised a lot to this person. And then you know, had to obviously backtrack it because it was unrealistic. But then that very person at a few months later, well, did what they had planned on doing. And so that, and I'm guessing other little instances, but that particular instance in the issue is kind of what got brought up to the, you know, the board of professionals or whatever, and what got his license reprimanded. Now, yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. That's another reason why you shouldn't be keeping your fucking license while deciding to be an entertainment YouTube content creator. That's just it makes me actually glad that I decided, because I one of my regrets is I got my master's in history and not psychology. Well, I still could have gotten it because I wouldn't have been licensed. I would have just had a master's, so never mind. That regret's still there. But the point is, that's one of the problems. But to go beyond that, right? How does that impact you, right? Having your license, right? I asked my own psychologist, I'm like, what could that do to you? And she's like, well, that could basically make it so other people don't want to hire you, because it's there, and they can see it's there. It's associated to your license now. Essentially, it's like you're on probation. If you're already working somewhere and this happens, it might motivate them to fire you, right? I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't know how much of his, you know, he was doing private practice and stuff. I don't know how this impacted his ability to do that stuff. But over time, after all that was done, it looked like the content started getting a little more frequent. Right? And one of the recent videos that particularly disgusted me was one titled, it has an awful title. It's such a bad fucking title that I can't remember it. No, I'll give it to you right now. And I watched it, and I was not happy with it, to say the least. Hold on. Should have had this prepared, but I'm incompetent, so bear with me. Thank you for putting up with my incompetence. I appreciate it. And I know this shit about the license is true because even his own team had a social media update about the decision. So that's something they officially sort of had to put out there. So yes, it's verified this occurred, that this reprimand on his license occurred. So the video, because I hadn't looked at his stuff, I just got it like that much, right? I would only look it up sometimes, or when he covered certain subjects, I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. I liked some of his ideas regarding meditation and how you got to be safe with it and all this sort of stuff, you know. But yeah, it was why you're the least valuable friend. And he's using like Wojaks and shit now, which whatever, but still weird because he didn't do that stuff before as much. Yeah, look, yeah, he started using Wojaks and shit way more, and he started also using like those weird I don't know, but it's and then he started using a lot of more like just terminally online lingo and shit in there, and like whatever, I don't care. But point is, that title, why you're the least valuable friend, holy fuck. I read that and I thought, oh, please be just some like, please be a, it's gross, but please just be some clickbait title, because you're definitely not gonna like tell people why they're why they're the least valuable friend. Okay, so if you watch it, it's essentially a guide to how to get people in your friend group to value you more. Now, maybe it's just the schizoid in me, but that idea alone, it's nightmarish. But essentially, how to improve your social ranking within your own friend group, how to be noticed more and be considered more socially valuable by your friend group. Watch it if you don't believe it. It's couched in like positive terminology and all kinds of other stuff. But look, the thumbnail even has some like, I don't know, what is it supposed to be, some kind of incel girl or something? That's why she's the bad one, because she's not dressed in a way that's, I don't know. I don't understand what this picture is even supposed to be. It's a girl with glasses wearing like a hoodie, and it says you, and then a group of girls that say, let's make plans without her. And his most recent video, I haven't even watched it, but why some people have divine aura. What is aura? Okay. So there was a comment. Oh, is that what it is? Rolando Ratas, buy them more Warhammer gifts? Oh, man. But basically, it's giving advice on, like, if you do this more, if you behave like this more, if you pay attention to, you know, these things that they pay attention to, and this and this and that, then you'll be more attention and value will be given to you as a human being within your friend group, because social capital be like. And I'm not gonna, sorry if you hear some of the audio, I'm just trying to get to the comments. Sorry. Oh, that stopped the music, didn't it? No, I don't want to hear you. Oh, it's muted. Thank you. Okay, so there was a comment in here. And I thought, awesome. Now, some of the top comments on here are pretty whatever. What is this? Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. If I don't text first, we don't talk. Why does making friends gotta be a performance and high maintenance, LOL? Reminds me of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They mocked and excluded him until he happened to be useful. Yet it's meant to be a happy story for kids. What am I going through? What? No? I'm reading the comments on the YouTube video in question. I don't understand what that means. Why would I read anything on the Discord? Oh, wait. Are you talking about like back when I did questions? No, I haven't been doing that in a while because people weren't submitting it. Finally, someone other than incel channels calls out healthy GG. This guy has cultivated an image. He's not speaking objectively as a doctor anymore. He's a self-help guru and a charlatan. But check out this comment. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that. He wasn't always this way though. It wasn't always this way. Sucks. I think just, I don't know if he got desperate after the fucking reprimand or whatever. Another funny thing I saw, even on like somebody pointed out or clipped it on his own like server, was a part where he was playing video games. He's just playing video games and talking to people or whatever, and he's always like promoting like, oh, be more productive in your life or whatever. And it's like, bro, you're creating even more content than ever. So literally you're just creating more excuses for people to be less productive. Like if you're just churning out slop, if you're like streaming all the time, you're just putting shit out. Like that's just gonna distract people. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. That's weird. But anyway, here's the comment regarding the video about increasing your value in your social group. My dude, you're going to turn a bunch of people into sociopaths with this sort of stuff. You're on the right track that their problem is that they're engaging in clingy behavior. But then you go down this dangerous as fuck rabbit hole of trying to teach how to alter their behavior for the purpose of gaining more respect, like it's some kind of currency. Most people in this position have one of two problems or both. One, they aren't a good fit with the people they're trying to get with. Two, they're engaging in clingy behavior that's raising other people's alarm bells. If your friends flake on your birthday without a good reason, they aren't your friends. It's okay to accept that. It's okay to move on. You kind of touch on this in your section about building a bunch of weak connections, but then you go down the sketchy so you build social capital route. Just get to know a lot of people and let friendships go down whatever route they're going to go down. Learn to be okay with dropping people if they don't click with you. It's fine. For the second point, it really just comes down to not trying so hard to be central or to be wanted. People pick up on when someone is desperate to be included or valued. It makes interactions with that person feel less genuine, since you can feel that there's an ulterior motive behind their actions, even if that motive is relatively harmless. There's a lot of people out there who have been abused or manipulated before, like multiple times. And if you come at them raising that red flag of this person wants something, they're going to close off. The solution to that is to chill the hell out. Get comfortable being alone with yourself, and so that your interactions with others are something done purely out of pleasure or interest, not because you want them to be the right shape of Lego piece to complete you. Or in other words, friends that obsess over where they sit on the totem pole in a friend group are the worst. Your client's issues could have probably been solved if you took your advice about making more less important friends and then just chill the hell out and stop worrying about being loved. I get that it sucks for them right now, but to use a gamer analogy that's a bit outdated because Nintendo buffed the spawn rates, you're never going to find that goddamn shiny Pokemon you want if you go to the tall grass looking for it. Just play the game, enjoy it, and let the RNG do its thing. Otherwise, the amount of agony you put yourself through to grind the spawn will make the thing feel utterly hollow after any initial thrill is done. But seriously, man, the way this advice is presented, The focus on breaking down social dynamics and teaching people how to game them, it's fucked up. I find the science behind it interesting as you do, but tons of lonely people who watch this are going to try it and either crash and burn what could have been a perfectly stable friendship outside of their own unaddressed anxieties, or make a bunch of really hollow relationships that are going to fuck up other people real bad when they realize they're being gamed. I see your stuff come up through every now and then, and it tends to be pretty solid, but you're handing out loaded guns to depress kids with this one. Ratas, I get a bit of charlatan feel for healthygamer.gg. Really brief times of seeing the videos. Yeah, but he has put out stuff that was good, and he has had interviews and conversations that needed to be had that were pretty decent and solid. He did promote some ideas and concepts that are kind of in his server, but the server's kind of chaos, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if it's always been that way. Maybe, like I said, maybe in the first few years. There's a clip of Dr. K bringing a guy up to tears on stream and then smiling. I don't know. I've never seen that. That's pretty... I mean, that sounds messed up, but I'd like to know the context, but I can't think of too many contexts in which a trained, psych wants to bring anybody to tears and smile. That's weird. Dr. K also seems to preach social Darwinism, at least against those who don't follow him. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm particularly bothered because this is an individual that like essentially catered to what was the group of lonely gamers, gamers that have mental health issues, things of that nature. And he did do some legitimately helpful stuff for some people and for groups of people. But the problem is that why would you just, any credibility you have, why would you just, you're not, when you destroy your credibility by doing stuff like this, you're not just hurting yourself, right? You've decided to become this public figure of significant influence, and you've put time and effort to become that. Now, what your motivation for doing that, that's going to change the context of, what could go wrong. But there's apparently there might have just always been this undercurrent of a need for fame, a need for being seen as like somebody that's the hero that's going to save the day, the big good guy that everyone loves. I have no idea. Maybe there was some of that driving all this forward from the beginning, or maybe he became that, or maybe his lifestyle got decent enough because of the combination of whatever practice stuff he was doing plus the internet, right? And now a lot of that's come to a halt because of this reprimand that occurred. So many people milk Reckless's death. Dr. K made a video where he cried on camera telling people when they kill themselves, a part of him goes with them. Kind of a savior complex. Oh, Jesus Christ, actually said that? Man, that's crazy. Like somebody that will actually make someone else killing themselves about them. Especially like not long after it happens. Especially if it wasn't like a family member or like a best friend. That's just crazy. Feels messed up to say though, but the point should be made. Oh yeah, that's bad. I can't confirm that. I didn't know that. So I don't know. I'm not going to be like, that's true. You said it. But if you're on the Discord and you want to link me that, I'll check it out because I had no fucking idea. There was a follow-up to that suicide that was associated with his reprimand. Like imagine, okay, look, I'm not a professional, right? But imagine I overpromised you guys all the time. I don't do that. But imagine if I was like, hey guys, just listen to me, and if you're, a schizoid, or if you're like a neurodivergent person that's all like fucked up mental health wise because of growing up in a neurotypical world and it fucked you up, just listen to my channel and my content, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to make you start feeling better. and you're gonna feel real good about yourself, and you're gonna be super duper happy, and it's gonna be awesome. Just gotta listen to me, guys. Like, how fucking insane would that be? I'm not a professional, and I obviously didn't do it in that fashion, but to like present yourself as this kind of savior figure for people, and then start just producing trash on top of that. Like, the stuff he's producing right now, the stuff he's putting out, because it's lacking so much context, you could fucking just turn it into whatever the fuck you want in your head. You can use it to like just fill in the blanks for whatever mental illness or issue you have. It reminds me of what other pop psych people do, that I think is really fucking stupid. And I mentioned him before, but I really dislike Dr. Todd Grande. But it's just, they do this thing where there'll be like one study, there'll be like one thing, and then they turn that into content, like a little video. There's a study that, according to the study, this is linked to this. But they don't really dig or talk about the study. It isn't like an hour-long video, you know, like as a professional really taking apart the study, seeing what it's about. No, it's just a fucking title. And I will always bring it up because it pissed me off, and it's still stuck with me because it was kind of personal, because that's what I was working on. But and he's done this for other shit, but when Grande put out that title of Schizoids Connected to Psychopathy, whoa, cool, man. That's gonna really help an already like unknown group of people that are suffering. That's really handy shit. It's like it reminds me of like other types of gurus and grifters in the mental health world. Some are more disgusting than others. I don't think Dr. K is the worst one there is at all. There are far worse ones out there, but usually the really bad ones don't have this level of influence. Which video? Oh, you're talking about him crying? Well, I mean, yeah, but you don't. If you're crying because it hurt you, why are you recording that? Why are you even putting that? Why are you even making a video about how you're hurt that somebody else like killed themselves? Like, why would you do that? I can't think of like really super good reasons. Usually when somebody does like a video about somebody and it's coming from like a really sincere place, they talk about the good things that person brought. They talk about like how they'll be missed, but mention some anecdotes about cool shit about them, right? But man, I didn't see the clip, but if he actually said that every time somebody does that, they take a part of him with them, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. That's a wacky ass thing to say, especially as a professional. You know, but one thing I've discovered, yeah, he reads the textbook, but he also he does it very irresponsibly. And on top of that, he just uses sensational bullshit to like make content about like, you know, his interpretation of some person's psychology. What Keanu Reeves psychology? What's you know, Ted Bundy and why he did this? Blah, blah, blah. It's just crimes. He does a lot of crime shit, right? So it's just like true crime pop mixed with psych pop. It's really weird. I do not like it. It is not coming from like a legitimately academic sort of like, let's learn from this kind of angle. It's coming from a like true crime fucking entertainment angle. Yeah, anyway, so that's basically the gist of it. I do not think that people that are licensed as doctors, psychiatry, or people that are licensed as psychologists, whether it's a licensed clinical social worker or whatever, or people that are licensed medically, I don't even give a fuck if you're a dentist or a fucking what do you want to call it? I almost said pediatrics, but obviously that's important. But I meant like, feet, or dermatologist. I don't care what it is. You're a licensed professional. Do not create content about your profession, especially for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying no doctor ever of any kind should ever make a video and put it on YouTube. That's stupid. I'm saying if they're gonna put one up, make it good and make it not for entertainment, make it for education. And don't monetize it. If you want to be a streamer and a content creator and you happen to be a professional doctor, stay out of those matters. Make it about playing video games. Don't do mental health shit. Make it about playing video games and having fun with the whatever as the streamer. Make yourself entertaining. Do not use your profession that you're licensed for to make it entertaining. I'm not diagnosing anyone in this video, only speculating on what. No, of course, yeah, you could always say that. It's just disclaimer. People don't pay attention to that shit. People do not pay attention to disclaimers. Disclaimers exist for liability reasons exclusively. Right? If you said, I am not licensed, that's fair. That has weight. But if you're licensed in any way, shape, or form, and you say, I'm not diagnosing, this is not professional. I'm a lawyer, but this is not professional advice. I'm just not a fan of that shit. Because people are affected so much by parasocial relationships. They are impacted so much by fallacies of authority. And yeah, maybe you're the somebody, you're the neurodivergent fucking weirdo that like questions everything and blah, blah, blah. And you don't take anything at face value and all this stuff. And you're so smart, you're so cool. And I'm not saying anybody in particular. I'm just saying like, because I used to probably feel that way too. That's not most people. Most people are too busy with so many other aspects of life that they prioritize, that they'll see something that says that somebody's a doctor and that doctor says stuff and they'll go, wow, he's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. He must know better than me. And what he's saying, it seems like it's wrapped up in what's going on in my life. Also, people who don't hide their main character syndrome don't get far in the streaming world. Yeah, well, that's why you probably shouldn't be doing content if you have main character syndrome or some shit like that. That's weird. I don't know, man. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the shit. I'm tired of all the time hearing something like this that's just disappointing about somebody that might have been doing something of value. And then it turns to shit. And it just pisses me off. And it's always money. It's always attention. It's always fame. Oh, God. Maybe I'm too schizo to get it. I don't know. To get why absolute power has to corrupt absolutely. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think that is a lie. That is something fallacious that people say to themselves to excuse their shitty behavior once they get fame and power and money. That's all that is. I know I brought him up before, and I know it's silly, but like, you know, for me that was kind of like, and I gotta go, but for me that's what Superman is. Superman is like, if I could describe him in 1 sentence, it would be that absolute power does not necessarily corrupt absolutely, or doesn't have to corrupt absolutely. That's kind of the point of his character. Now, some people have written him in really stupid ways and goofy ways. Yeah, sure. They've done that to every, like Batman and everybody. Read All-Star Batman and Robin. That shit was fucking dog crap. Dr. K is not going to let the male loneliness crisis go to waste, right? There are some studies showing power literally changes brain structure and is similar to addiction or something. Okay. Well, then if you know that's going to happen, then be very wary of it. Or do the smart thing and limit your own power, limit your own influence, limit the amount of money that you use to embellish your lifestyle. How about that? Those are choices that can be made if you're afraid that power or money will corrupt you. If you think that's what's going to happen to you, you can make choices to avoid that entirely. But like I was saying, Superman, that's his whole deal. He's a god. Yet he chooses his ideals, his principles, and his ethical, like his ethics, to not allow his absolute power to corrupt him absolutely. And part of that process is that he does not see his own life as anything greater than the lives of the people he's helping. That all their lives matter in that same way, just because he's Superman. So essentially every time he stops a bus or he stops a meteor or he saves a person, he's just thinking, this is a person just like me. I could have been this person, but I'm Superman. I could have been this scared, this terrified. Superman's a cartoon. Yeah, I know Superman's a cartoon. Have you read how fictional characters are representative of ideas that exist throughout human history? I'm not saying Superman's real. There are people in this world that have these pretty intense levels of power and influence and money, and they just keep themselves in check. And you know why you don't hear about those people? Because they make sure they don't get heard about. And some of these people do some good shit in the background, but there's too many people doing bad shit to kind of counter that. And usually the ones that want to be in the spotlight do the highest levels of performative good shit and a lot of bad shit. Can't believe you said that the whole Superman's a cartoon. That's so goofy. Well, let's just remove the value that any fictional character that has ever existed provides. Because one's a cartoon and another one's a novel, a great American novel or something, that gives it less or more value. I don't even know what that statement means. It's funny too, because like when people throw like using an example of a fictional character as being something kind of absurd, right? My counter to that is that those characters were created by human beings. and they're representative of the psychology and the goals and the dreams and, you know, the far-reaching fucking potentials that a human being dreams of, the abstract concepts that exist within their mind that they can't actualize. There is such a thing as people like Superman. There's just no actual Superman. I think that's what's important about that. I don't buy into this human nature shit. That shit's just fucking cope for not trying hard enough. Hot take. Alright, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. I hope you like the Christmas decorations. If you like my stream, support me on Patreon. PayPal, whatever. It helps. It helps pay for some bills and gas and whatever the fuck. Well, I work full time. I'm not relying on this shit. I know I can't. So, and if I could, I'd be doing way more than just streaming. I'd be doing way more than just streaming and talking and just yapping. All right, peace. Oh, enjoy my the Steam. Follow me on Steam or whatever. Actually, I think that's fun. I have a lot of fun building my you know, all the stuff, putting all the stupid stuff on my Steam profile. The one thing I don't give a fuck about on Steam is the levels. And for those of you who don't know, you should not give a fuck about your Steam level, and you should not give a fuck about the Steam cards. I like achievements because it's a means of me just paying tribute to games I like. I like putting them on there because it's like me saying, I love this thing. I think this piece of art is cool and great. Right? But Steam cards, it's just bullshit. It's a pay to win, like weird social status gamer scheme thing. It's really gross. I sell all my cards that I get from playing games. I just sell them. And I'll just, like, I don't know, eventually buy some kind of indie game or something with it. Because, you know, they end up getting paid. So, whatever. But yeah, Steam levels are awful. Go down that rabbit hole if you want to know why. It's, like, probably one of the practices that Steam does that, like, makes me go with it. But so many other platforms have such worse practices or issues. And they don't have functionality. So, I don't know. I just wish they would get rid of that shit. I wish they would get rid of Steam levels, Steam cards. Or if they base Steam levels on like achievements or something, that would be fine. Like how hours playing, achievements, shit like that. Like that's what Steam levels should be based on. Like you know, completed games, whatever the fuck. I don't know, something like that. Purchased or completed or I don't know, whatever. But anything but the fucking what are the badges on the Steam cards? Ew. All right. Peace. Oh, yeah. When day is dark, always remember happy day. And when you need to, get fucking mad.